Alright, it is FrOzenSwipe here, bringing you a game of domination on jungle, and I'm going to be using the M16 this game. I actually get the exact same score on the exact same map in the exact same lobby as my last video, and man, that video seemed to blow up because I was talking about the Norway killings in Amy Winehouse, and there are two things that a lot of people searched on YouTube, and I think it broke like 60 views. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but compared to for my videos, that's a lot. You know, if it even breaks 20 views, that's that's a successful video in my opinion. It even got me a couple of more subscribers, so that's always good. So yeah, I speed up the start of this game. It starts off quite slow paced, but it does pick up towards the end, so kind of bear with me here. I also wanted to try and keep this under 10 minutes because it's kind of hard to keep your attention, to keep people's attention with, you know, gun statistics and that for more than 10 minutes. I mean, I'm not talking about anything particularly interesting, so you know, I kind of want to keep it reasonably short and sweet. So without further ado, let's just dive straight into the M16. This is quite a complicated assault rifle, but however, not one they should overlook. Well, first of all, let's just talk about how it is in real life. The version in Black Ops is the original M16 assault rifle, which was first put into service in 1963 by the US Army. It was originally used in jungle warfare in South Vietnam. So I'm really showing you the perfect historical situation for this gun. I'm battling the North Vietnamese Army in the jungle and as the Americans, so that's that's kind of a coincidence. I didn't plan for this to happen or anything, but still, it just pretty much shows you how the gun was actually used. Although I suppose they didn't paint it blue and put a red dot sight on it, but you know, whatever. Bear with me, okay? It widely replaced the M14 rifle, which is also in Black Ops, and became the standard service rifle of the Vietnam War by 1969. This gun is adopted by armies all over the world, and in total, considering all the M16 variants, approximately 8 million rifles were produced. 8 million M16 style rifles have been produced so far, and that's quite a lot. I believe it's the most in its caliber, but I'm not too sure about that. However, in the US Army now, it's been widely replaced by the M4 carbine, which was in Call of Duty 4. So that's pretty much kind of the rise and fall of the M16 in a nutshell there. So let's get into how the gun plays out in the actual game. It has a maximum damage of 40 and a minimum damage of 30. Now this will equate to 3 bullets to kill up close and 4 bullets to kill at long range. Seeing as it is a 3-burst weapon, let's kind of talk about it in bursts. Assuming that you hit all of your bullets, it'll only take one burst to kill up close and 2 bursts to kill at very long range. However, it can take up to 3 bursts at close range, or up to 4 bursts. But I mean, you should be able to take people out in 2 to 3 bursts up close, no problem. This gun will drop off at 50 meters as opposed to the standard 37.5 meters with most assault rifles. This will, however, drop to 20 meters if you use a silencer, which isn't half bad on this gun. You can kind of use it as a kind of a stealthy weapon. It fires at 450 RPM, which is quite slow, but you have to bear in mind it is a 3-burst weapon. What else? Oh yeah, it has a reload time of 2.03 seconds with ammo in the clip. However, if you keep firing until it's completely empty, it'll take 2.36 seconds to reload. This makes it the fastest reloading assault rifle in Black Ops, and so I mean, you don't really need Slaughterhound with this gun. I use it anyway just so I can aim down sights quicker, but you know, that's just for me. The recoil on this gun is where it gets kinda complicated. It's relatively light and centers fairly quickly, but that's pretty much because it is a 3-burst weapon as opposed to the fully automatic assault rifles. So usually it has 1200 points of center speed. Now, what the center speed is, well, pretty much when the gun kicks, the center speed is the rate at which the gun will settle. It'll recenter back to its original point, and obviously the higher the center speed, the quicker the gun will recenter, and the more bullets you can fire off more accurately, and the faster you can fire. So it really does help with the accuracy to have a very high center speed. Now, generally this gun, as I said, will have a center speed of 1200. If you put the ACOG sight in this gun, it'll increase it to 1300. It also has no noticeable idle sway, unlike when you put it on other guns. And the only downside for using it on this gun is that it'll increase the aim down sight time from 1.25 seconds, which is pretty much standard for most of the assault rifles, to 0.35 seconds. So I mean, the ACOG sight is definitely a very good attachment to use on this gun, and I definitely do recommend using it if you haven't already given it a go. However, if you do want to use something a little bit more unorthodox, if you want to use the thermal sight on any gun, this is the gun to use it on. When you put the thermal sight, it'll increase the normal 1200 center speed to 1500 1500. This will give it an extra 300 points of center speed, and which makes it very accurate. I mean, you can take out snipers pretty easily. However, the thermal sight does have that idle sway, and you constantly have to keep pushing the hold breath button, because it counts for every bullet and not for every burst, which it probably should. That's probably something they should fix with this gun. However, I don't really recommend the thermal sight. It's okay on a map like this where there's lots of green and grey and brown and grey and that, and where people can kind of blend into the foliage, and it will really help you spot them. But on a snow map, the thermal sight is pretty terrible, purely for the reason that it highlights enemies in the same colour as the surrounding snow. So I mean, if anything, it makes them more difficult to spot on a snowy map. So I do not really recommend the thermal scope. But if you do feel the need to use it on some weapon, you know, this isn't a bad option on the M16. So that's pretty much it. The attachments I'd recommend for this would be the ACOG sight. Obviously, it makes this gun very accurate. In fact, I don't even know why I was using the red dot. It's also very good with the red dot. It makes it feel a lot more accurate than with the iron sights. The iron sights are okay on this gun. They're by no means perfect, but they don't tend to wobble or bounce or anything like other iron sights on guns. And they're also quite open, and you can see what you're shooting at, so they're decent enough. But this gun really, I definitely do recommend the red dot sight or the reflex sight, because I mean, those two are pretty much identical. So I mean, there's no real difference there. So yeah, I definitely recommend either the red dot reflex sight or the ACOG sight in this gun, because you want to be as accurate as possible with this. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I can talk about the M16. The game is coming to a close now, as you can see. I think we end up losing this game. I wasn't really focusing on the objective. I do get a couple of captures in, but I wasn't playing the objective as aggressively as I usually do, because I knew I was using a 3-burst weapon, and you can't be overly aggressive with a 3-burst weapon, especially when pretty much everyone uses the fully automatic weapons like the full auto assault rifles and the submachine guns. You're just going to be outclassed at close range, so you need to keep your distance. You need to kind of take the Slayer support kind of role if you are going to use the M16. So the gameplay is wrapping up here. We do take a loss, unfortunately, and if you like what you see, if you want to learn more about the guns in Black Ops, and you want to see more gun breakdowns, please by all means come back to my channel and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.